You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
Different, better logo. That's all I want.
Logo's fine. Logo's fine.
It's temporary fine. That's logo number 2 is what that is.
But the tune.
It's synonymous with our show now. We're coming up on we're on 9 years. We're coming up on a decade now. Next year doing this show.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. Fucking hell. It also flies when you're just doing nothing but working and staying up late. So time flies when you're doing anything, I guess.
I got scolded. Not me personally, but I felt
you're a grown-ass man.
I felt personally attacked by someone on TikTok who says that we should not work on Saturdays. Saturdays is the Lord's Day.
Should be. Saturdays are the best day.
I mean,
name a better day than Saturday.
Saturday's probably the best day. Although Friday night kicks ass too.
I mean, obviously, that's all part and parcel to your school days when it's hey, you're in grade school and it's Friday night rolls around. Oh, I don't got to get up for school tomorrow. And Saturday rolls around. I had no school today and I don't have school tomorrow. So yeah, obviously Friday nights and Saturdays are great.
Yeah.
So it comes from that. But
also for work for me too, I get that same vibe.
Yeah, I guess you might have a different vibe if you have to work on the weekends. But I'm sorry, is going to be my response to that. Because Friday and Saturday nights kick ass.
According to this guy, no one should be working on Saturdays. That's the Lord's Day.
I mean, that's literally
it's the Sabbath,
impossible.
right?
It's literally,
the Sabbath?
but no. I mean, I guess technically, if you're gonna, Sunday's supposed to be the Sabbath, but technically, if you're gonna go back and technically, actually, the Sabbath was Saturday, but they changed it because of pagan reasons and all this other nonsense.
I think it was the Jews. But I think Christians wanted to differentiate themselves from the Jews, and the Jewish Sabbath is Saturday. So the Christians were well, we're not going to copy them, even though they copied everything. They made it Sunday. But the real true Sabbath is Saturday.
Imagine calling 911 and all you get is an automated recording today's the holy Sabbath day. Sorry, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Here we are. We're working. We're working on a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm working my keister off on this one. But literally, I'm sorry, police, doctors, security officers who work in jails and shit like that, they can't pick and choose. They imagine having one day where everybody's off and then people in the jails are just stuck in their cells for 24 hours with nobody there. Right?
I mean, that's one example. Yeah. There's a lot of
give you another example. Imagine you're working in a hospital and you're dying of kidney disease, and then Saturday rolls around sorry, see you on Sunday.
Yep. I guess it's God's will, right?
I might see you on Sunday. We'll see. We'll see about that one. So
to hell with it.
To hell with it.
We're here.
To hell with it.
We're here.
To hell with it all.
The early bird catches the worm.
Yeah, we're early.
We are recording our live show early.
Yeah.
And I asked you if we could do it early, and you said yes by an hour, which is cool. And that's because, Adam, tomorrow's Easter.
Yeah, tomorrow's
Happy Easter.
Tomorrow's 420 also, so there's 2 holidays.
You have a special holiday.
There's going to be a lot of people come Monday. They're going to be I saw Jesus yesterday, so this shit's real.
He has risen. That was my favorite meme. Instead of he has risen, he has resin. It's going to be perfect for 420.
He rose after 3 days, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's the dogma.
That's the dogma. He rose after 3 days. So real talk for a second. Real talk. So Jesus,
are we getting theological here?
Jesus died for your sins.
Sure did.
Jesus died for your sins.
Especially mine, because mine are super bad.
But he didn't stay dead. He didn't stay dead. Jesus died for your sins. He didn't stay dead.
But he
came back 3 days later, and dude was like, "What up?" And then he went to heaven, right?
Right.
So,
bro, he also didn't stay alive either. He was only like back real quick.
So, like, Jesus sacrificed himself for the sake of like
for a long weekend.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, bro didn't like really sacrifice. He just like gave up a weekend.
You called down.
That's my hot take for the week.
Oh, that was it right away off the bat. You got to do the whole show with your specs on now.
I don't care. I'm good.
It is sunny out.
I look better with sunglasses on anyway.
We started early. The sun's still out.
Bro just gave up his weekend. That's all he did.
I kind of jumped on your hot take again.
It's 2 weeks in a row.
Look at me go. I should be doing hot takes.
You got to bring your sunglasses now. You got to bring in your sunglasses, man. We're gonna get some hot takes on. But like, yeah, he just gave up a weekend.
It's not as cool.
And then he went up and ruled in heaven. Like, look. Nothing against the way he died. Crucifixion is horrible, violent, painful way to go. Understandable. But like, then he gets like rule for eternity in like the greatest place in the world or in the universe. Like, it's. We had a topic conversation before the show 1 or 2 weeks ago. We were like, for every inch.
No, don't even bring up the inches again.
I'm just saying, $1,000 for every inch. Like, look, there's a reward at the end. If you know, you know. You know. It's warm in here. I'm gonna turn these fans on. I forgot to do that because of the late show.
It's always so hot in here, man.
Well, no, because of the late show. Like I usually have more time to prep. I literally had just got done setting up everything before you walked in. So I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna turn on the fans real quick. What do you love about Easter, Scott?
So I'm the commercial Easter guy. I have young kids, and I love I did egg hunt with them. I took them to an Easter egg hunt last weekend.
Dude, that's at a premium with these prices, man.
They weren't real eggs. They're plastic eggs filled with chocolate surprises. Have you never done an Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, I've done an Easter egg
You've done an Easter egg
when I was a kid, but like the real G's, no, it's real. It got to be hard-boiled eggs. That's the real G's.
I did that too. I colored some hard-boiled eggs. Yeah, it's expensive now. The Trump economy has the price of eggs through the roof. So
I will say this, because we always keep it real, regardless of which side. I went to Aldi today, and eggs are down $1. $1 a dozen at Aldi.
That's at the Aldi.
At Aldi.
Those are those good German eggs.
Giant Eagle, though, they're also down a little bit too.
Okay.
So just so that we're keeping things straight.
They're still very expensive.
They're still very expensive. Yes. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying. Doesn't mean anything Trump did is correct.
No. I mean, let's just say the president doesn't set the prices of groceries. I said that when Biden was president.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick with it now. Yeah. But a lot of idiots don't understand that. It is capitalism. We don't have a communist government. That means the state cannot set prices. The individual private companies set the prices.
Yeah. He's doing like the Easter egg hunt tomorrow too. The Easter egg hunt.
Yeah,
he's got like, didn't he like sell advertising for that?
I did not hear about that.
I heard he like sold advertising where like, if you want to sponsor the White House Easter egg hunt, like blah blah blah.
The White House Easter egg hunt has been like a tradition in this country, so that's like, it's not something new, but selling advertisements
it was something like that. It was something like that.
That's a little classless, but I shouldn't expect much class from Trump.
No. He had his physical recently. Hear about that?
I did hear about that.
He had his physical. Dude, bro is apparently alpha mailing it out, apparently. Dude's like, what, 6'3" according to his physical?
He's not.
224 pounds, 4.8% body fat.
That's such a lie.
Those are the real fucking numbers that came out of the White House.
Those
are the real numbers. Like, look, I'm not going to say I'm the most in shape person in life. I'm a solid 248 right now. I'm down 15 pounds. Thank you very much. I've been working out.
Good job, there.
But like, Trump is bigger than me. Trump is way bigger than me.
Adam, he's also 80 years old.
Thing is, like, it's understandable why he would be bigger and out of shape, but it's just the lie that gets me. Like, we all see pictures of him when he's playing fucking tennis or when he's like golfing in those fucking shorts. Like, we all see it. Like,
Adam, I don't think being old means you get fat. Like, there's a lot of
you do
skinny
gain
old.
you do tend to gain more weight the older you get, because
But not when you're that
you
old.
can't maneuver as much. You know, you can't move around, so that you're just
I gotta strongly disagree with you. I've worked in and out of like old folks' homes and nursing homes, and most of the people in there are very, very thin because their appetite isn't what it used to be. I'm talking like extreme elderly. Now, middle-aged, you're not wrong there, because your metabolism isn't what it used to be when you're younger.
Yes, generally people tend to gain weight as they age. Thank you very much.
That's what I just said. Yeah. But when you're extreme elderly, when you're 80 plus,
but dude is not like, he's not in a nursing home.
He should be.
What I'm saying is, like, he's not in a nursing home stuck in a wheelchair. Dude can walk around, and dude can still like dude has like, he's basically a billionaire. Like, he's got all the money in the world to have all the medicine he wants. He's taking care of himself.
But he uses his money to eat McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
And he drives a golf cart when he golfs. It's not like he walks 18.
No, but what I'm saying is he's not like an invalid, is what I'm saying.
I never said he was.
But most of the people you're talking about in nursing home and stuff like that, they're just sitting there. A lot of them are invalids that can't do anything else but sit in their wheelchairs.
Nursing homes, sure, but there's also elderly people. I don't think that, I'd like to look up stats on this. The 75 plus population, I think their majority is not obese.
I didn't say obese.
He's obese.
The word obese didn't come out of my mouth.
Not according to
what I said was, I understand. The problem isn't that he's overweight. The problem is he's lying about the fact that he's overweight when it's normal.
Oh, that's
for people.
Yes.
As the older you get, the more you tend to gain weight.
But why are we surprised about him lying?
That's what I said.
The guy has lied his entire life.
But it's the most. I'm going to stand on this. It's the most ridiculous lie, because clearly anybody with eyes can see that that's not true.
I don't even think it's the most ridiculous one.
It's the most bold-faced lie.
From him? Mm-hmm. From him?
Yes, because we can clearly see it's not true.
I think
maybe due to 6 foot up. Maybe.
I think that's a regular Wednesday for him, making a lie like that. I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary.
But there's no denying it. That's my point.
But he is denying it.
That's why it's a bold-faced lie. There's no denying it.
But that's what he does for everything.
There is no denying it.
That's what he does for everything. He's a pathological liar.
I know.
Then this isn't anything out of the ordinary for him. This is par, excuse me, if you will. This is par for the course.
I'm not arguing against him. Obviously, he's lying. I'm arguing against the people that are like, see, alpha male right there. Boom, 224, 4.8% body fat. That's a man. That's what I'm arguing against. Those fucking people that are like looking at him like, yep, that sounds about right. It's the most bold-faced lie ever, because we can clearly see it's not true. There is no argument. There's zero argument to that.
I think he's a tall guy.
That's the only thing
I don't think he's 6'3".
Maybe he's tall. Maybe he's 6 foot. I don't know about 6'3". Maybe 6 foot.
I don't even think he's 6'2". Maybe 6'1". That's as big as I would say. That's probably closer to 5'11" or 6 foot.
That's the truthiest thing he's ever truthed. Honestly. And it's still a lie, but it's the truthiest thing he's ever truthed that came out of his mouth.
I mean, if you look at like football rosters, they lie about the size of their weight and their height all the time on those anyway. So it is what it is. I care more about how he's destroying our country than what he lies about what his height and weight are.
I was trying to keep it like, light and medium before we got into all that bullshit. Well, because that's all I have to talk about. That's the only thing I pay attention to.
I wish you would broaden your horizons, because politics is it's poison right now. It's poison.
It's poison, but you can't ignore it. Because
you can.
The reason why you can't ignore it is because it's not like a decade ago when dude's just saying shit and, it's like, Trump said some wild shit. Now it's like dude's saying shit and we're in a constitutional crisis. Like, we are, whether you agree or not, we're borderline on that, like, French level of we might have to fucking rebel.
You keep saying that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not our cushy country where everybody thinks everything's great and rainbows?
I don't know. And the reason why I don't know, and I say this all the time, and I say this in almost every episode we do, but I see it more and more. Not a day goes by that I don't see like some Republican senator or congressman having like a meet and greet or like a question, like a what do you call them?
Town halls?
Town hall meetings. Thank you. Town hall meetings where in red areas that voted mostly Trump and a bunch of white people in there that are probably Republicans standing up and screaming at him like, this is not what we voted for. Like, are you going to do something about this? Like, I saw a video today where this red area fucking Republican senator just sitting up there taking questions. They had to pull a veteran out because he voted Trump and he realized he fucked up, and now he's yelling at him like, are you going to do something about this? Like, I can't remember which state it was, but it's a state that has what's called like a blue dot in the middle of it, which is like just a Democratic area surrounded by Republicans. And the congressman was talking about like, we need to turn this blue dot red, and people like screaming and blah blah blah. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to keep this? Do you want to keep this blue dot? It was like in unison. Yeah, like screaming it.
And you think that means there's going to be a rebellion?
No, what I'm saying is I think that means that there are less and less people every day that are taking Trump's bullshit and saying that's another day, or I love this, or whatever. There are more and more people every day that are saying we cannot stand for this. We cannot do this. We cannot stand for this. I think it's going to depend on this Abrego Garcia situation. I think depending on that and how Trump reacts to the Supreme Court is going to decide what's the future is going to be. Because Trump has been consistently this entire what are we in, like month 4 of his presidency?
Yeah, we're in April.
And he just constantly like ignores the federal judges. And even now the Supreme Court in a 9-0 ruling said you need to facilitate this motherfucker's like transport back to this guy. You need to bring this dude back. You got to bring this motherfucker back. And before anybody sits there and says like, oh, well, he's a criminal, blah, blah, blah. That may be true and that may not be true. The argument is being made isn't.
He's not a criminal.
Well, what I'm saying is the argument being made, because a lot of people still think he's MS-13, blah, 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 all this and everything like that. The argument being made right now for people that are against Trump is not whether or not he's a criminal. The argument being made when it comes to him and everybody else is he didn't get his fucking due justice. He did not get his day in court. You cannot just deport people willy-nilly because that's what fucking Hitler did. You can't just send people willy-nilly to some camp. Like, it's not what you can do.
You're all over the place. First thing about you got onto Abrego Garcia, which I do want to talk about, but let's backtrack.
It was a lead.
Okay, I'm not ready to be done yet. You were just going and going and going. The rallies, the town halls you're talking about. That's called democracy.
Yes.
That is nothing new. That has been always happening. Think about like what the Tea Party did when Obama was in office. Think about what the civil rights movement in the 60s or the Vietnam protests. This is something that's always happened. Does it mean there's going to be a rebellion or a revolution? No.
I didn't say
because there's not going to be
a rebellion. What I said was we might need a rebellion.
Oh, we've needed one for a long time.
That's
there's
what
not
I was
going
saying.
to be one. There's not going to be one.
I didn't say there was going to be when I said we need a rebellion.
Okay.
The point I was trying to make was you have citizens who are in deep red areas who more than likely all voted for Trump, who are now standing up to their Republican representatives and saying, we do not like what is going on. These people...
You don't know that all they voted for Trump, though, especially if it's a blue dot.
I'm making a... No, well, no, the town hall meeting was not in a blue dot. He was referring to a blue dot in that state. He was in a red area. He was in a red county.
But you could be we live in a red area. We don't live in a blue dot.
Yeah.
We live in a very red area, and I am very blue. So I've gone to town halls before. I have voiced my opinion. I have done that. And then people would say, well, he must have voted because he lives in that red area. That's not true.
When you made your opinion, did you have the entire crowd around you cheering, yeah, and saying, ooh, yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
not the whole crowd, but a lot. Yeah, a lot.
These town hall meetings, you have the entire crowd. When somebody makes a point about this kind of stuff, them all screaming, yeah, and then when he starts going off, and then when the representative, the congressman, starts going off on some random point, like, oh, I support Doge, the entire town hall erupts in, boo, shut the fuck up. This is not like one person saying a thing. This is one person saying a thing, and everybody around him standing up, putting their fists in the air, like, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I'm saying.
And you know what? I applaud that conservative, Trump-supporting Republican elected official. I applaud them, and my hat's off to them because they had the wherewithal to actually hold a town hall and put themselves in that position where they have people yelling at them. Our representatives, where we live, don't do that. They have not hosted any town halls. They don't do that. They do teletown halls where they put plants in to take phone calls from them. I have been involved in teletown halls with our representative. I have asked to have my question heard, and I've never been picked. Mike Kelly, who is our representative where we live, who's one of the worst in the country, he will not hold an in-person town hall unless it is handpicked people by him. And for this person that you're talking about to do that, I applaud them because that is democracy. That is how our country is supposed to work.
That is how our country is supposed to work. I don't know if I'd applaud them because a lot of those town hall meetings have been ending with they ended early and they just ignore everybody and walk off.
But they had it. They had it. We have content right now. We're talking about it occurring. Even if it was 5 minutes and then they said, all right, we're out of here. It happened and we have content and we're talking about it. We don't have that from Kelly.
I'm just saying we live. If you're not paying attention, you should be because we're literally living through history
Most
right now.
people don't pay attention, Adam.
That's why I'm saying you need to pay attention. This is the reason why I've been paying more attention now because we're literally living in almost unprecedented times.
I disagree.
In the United States of America.
I think this happens a lot. I think it does. Maybe not in the likes of Trump. I'll concede to you on Trump.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well that's different. But as far as the people getting mad, and both sides, that's a normal thing.
How often do we have a president within less than 6 months of his presidency is just constantly ignoring federal orders?
This is a problem.
Is breaking apart the checks and balances of our government. Has the Supreme Court in a unanimous decision making us saying you need to do this, and him saying,
"You're
fuck
talking
you, buddy."
About Garcia.
Yes. That's the point. The
Supreme Court, the Supreme Court, which is 6-3 conservative controlled,
and one of them is a known corrupt individual. One of them is known for at least three of them. At least one of them we know is known for taking bribes and not giving a shit.
There's more than one on there.
Oh, I'm sure there's more than one. What I'm saying is one that we know for a fact.
They voted 9-0.
9-0.
And he defied their order. He is refusing to bring Mr. Garcia back. And this is a constitutional crisis right now we're in.
Exactly.
I honestly don't know what to do. What are the ramifications of this?
So
this is uncharted territory.
This is so we're still talking about the same thing, but I'm gonna break off a little bit because we're talking about tomorrow's Easter, tomorrow's Sunday, tomorrow is 420. Just blaze. Tomorrow.
Just blaze.
So tomorrow is, from what I have heard, and I don't know how true I don't know. This is a prediction. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. From what I understand, there's a few creators that I follow on TikTok that are solely focused on politics. Like they have degrees in history and political science, stuff like that. And they've been talking and they're saying tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, we're going to know, but tomorrow is the day where more than likely Trump will either declare martial law or not. And the reason why is because on day one of his presidency, when he was elected, he did, I can't remember if there's a name for it or not, but he basically did what a president does, and he goes to his advisors or his cabinet, and he basically says, do you think I need to declare martial law? And the people that in question, we're talking about Tulsi Gabbard, we're talking about Pete Hegseth. They have, from that moment when Trump, when the president says requests like a report as to whether or not that he needs to declare martial law, they have 90 days to provide the president with a report with their recommendation as to whether or not he can declare martial law or not, whether or not he needs to or not. So tomorrow is 90 days to the day when he was elected president, and that is the day that they have to submit their report as to whether or not they recommend the president declare martial law.
I don't understand martial law from what on what.
That's the point. That's yeah, exactly.
Like what? You have to have a reason to declare martial law. Look what happened in South Korea when their president declared martial law for no good reason.
Yeah.
They threw the bum out.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, what's going on right now?
So
that we require martial. We've never had martial law in my life.
Yeah. You
mean nationwide martial law?
Yes. Using my imagination, though, if Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard stick with the Trumpism that they've been going with, they're going to make up some reason, because Trump wants to declare martial law. So they're going to make up some reason. Here's the reason why we need to declare martial law. Here's the report that you can read through. Trump's going to look at it, not read through it, and be like, okay, you recommended it to me, declare martial law. And then it's going to be fought, obviously. Supreme Court's going to have to fight against it, and a lot of Congress might try to fight against it. But like what tomorrow is supposed to be the 90-day mark, where that's the last day that they have to submit this report as their recommendation whether or not Trump should or should not do it.
You know what? I hate to say this, but you know what this is giving me vibes of? When the My Pillow guy was like, okay, next week I'm going to have the results for you from my findings about how the election was stolen. Or when the crazy pastors say, okay, next week on the 12th, that's the day that the world is ending. This is giving me those vibes.
I understand. I totally get that. I totally get that. It's not up in the air whether or not he asked them to do that. That is a fact. It is a fact that he asked them, he made this request, and that they have till tomorrow's the due date to submit this report. That is from what I understand from multiple creditors, is a fact. Like whether or not they might not submit the report, maybe they don't submit it. Maybe they submit it and they say, nah, no martial law, or maybe they submit it and say, yeah, we recommend martial law. That's the up in the air thing.
Do you think there's a case where they would recommend martial law and Trump does not declare it?
No, absolutely not. Not with this cabinet. Absolutely not.
I just don't see why. Why is martial law needed now? How would it benefit him?
Why?
The guy only cares about himself.
Control.
How would it control? But he's already controlling everything.
So we know for a fact that Donald Trump wants to deport American citizens to these.
He's already doing that.
They're not. Right now they're deporting immigrants. They're not deporting American citizens. As far as we know, there's been one American citizen that was taken by ICE. And this is in Florida. That was taken by ICE. He's a 19-year-old kid.
There was one in Pennsylvania too, but they let him go.
Okay. I didn't hear about the Pennsylvania one. I know there's one in Florida. I think he's released now, but there was one 19-year-old kid that was picked up by ICE in Pennsylvania. The mother went down to the courthouse, said, here's his birth certificate. He is an American citizen. The judge said, I agree with you. He is an American citizen. I don't have the authority, though, to release from ICE, because I think it's like the like police laws where like they can keep you for a certain amount of time, and then after like I don't know, 72 hours or whatever, then they have to release you if they have nothing to charge you with. They released him, obviously, but like so they are picking up American citizens, but I don't know of any American citizen that has been deported to this. We're going to call it death camp. That's what it is. It's a death camp.
It's a concentration camp.
Yes, CCOT. It's a death camp. So that I think is the goal, because remember what he was saying all the way through the election cycle. He was saying he wants to get back at like all the people that like went against him his first term, people that have been going against him. Like that's his main goal. His main goal is control, and that's the reason. If he can declare martial law and the military stands with him, then he has ultimate control and he can do whatever he wants.
If this was 3 years from now, I might be more inclined to agree with you, because the guy wants to stay in power, and he can't run for another term. And I don't even see with with the crazy lame brain schemes by the right about how they can change the law.
Bannon has been talking
I've heard
a
about
lot.
it. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So the only other way to stay in power would be do this 3 years from now.
Yeah.
But we're so far away from that. Like it doesn't make sense to do it now.
I think he thinks if he declares martial law, then all these like federal judges and all these like prosecutors that are coming after him and suing the Trump administration, the Supreme Court, I think he thinks if he does that, they don't matter anymore. He has ultimate control, and none of that's going to matter anymore. He doesn't have to fight any of this. And then what he can do is he could do what he did with Abrego Garcia. He can take, you know, there has already been at least 2 confirmed people who are American citizens who have received emails. One was an immigration lawyer. The other one was a doctor. They received emails from the government, basically telling them to self-deport, basically telling them if you stay in this country, things are going to go bad for you. And,
So
and
the
the White House has come out and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was an accident. We accidentally sent that." How the fuck do you?
So the story that I read, the one in Pennsylvania, you'll appreciate this. It was like 3 or 4 younger guys. They were in their 20s or whatever. They were in Philadelphia, and they were speaking Spanish on the street. And ICE
not illegal.
ICE pulls up, and apparently they had already worked this out with each other. One of the 3 kids was born in Puerto Rico, which Puerto Rico is a United States territory.
Yes.
If you're born there, you are a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
The other 2 were undocumented. So the guy said, "What do you do?" Every teenager knows this. When the cops pull up to the party, what do?
Break.
You scatter.
Yeah.
You're with a group of friends. 2 cops are coming up. There's 10 of you. They can't catch you all. You all run in different directions. So they did that. The one kid who was the American citizen allowed himself to be the one that was caught while the other 2 got away. And he was yelling at them in Spanish. They handcuffed him. They took him in only for him to reveal, "I'm an American citizen."
Puerto Rico,
they had to let him
bitch.
go anyway. He took one for his buddies who then later got away. I thought that was fantastic.
That makes sense.
Second thing, did you see that ICE this week was in our hometown in Hermitage?
Really?
They arrested 2 people.
Really?
Yes. You didn't see this? Was
I
in the
didn't
news?
see it. I didn't see
all
it.
over the internet. Yeah.
I missed this.
The Hermitage, Pennsylvania police assisted ICE with a raid where 2 individuals were arrested and deported. And the rumor on the street is they were farmhands working for Cranex Lawn and Garden Center.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I can't not confirm nor deny if that was true, but it was in the Sharon Herald newspaper. 2 individuals that were undocumented workers were arrested and are waiting deportation. From Hermitage.
For anybody out there that's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're for illegal immigration, you're for illegals being over here," I'm going to repeat myself again because we have to because they keep making this fucking argument. I'm going to repeat myself again for the 1000th time. The problem isn't the deportation. The problem is deportation to where they're sending them, obviously, but the problem isn't the deportation. It's the due justice, you motherfuckers. They're bagging people over their heads and taking them to a facility and then just putting them on a plane and sending them. They're not getting their day in court. Everybody deserves their day in court. This is a fucking problem. That's why this is a constitutional crisis.
My thing with Mr. Garcia is, and really any of them, if you don't break the law, like if you've done nothing wrong.
Exactly, yeah.
What is the point? Even if you are an undocumented person here, but you've not committed a violent crime, you cannot prove to be a gang member. Why? What happened to innocent until proven guilty? Mr. Garcia, the right to saying he's a member of MS-13, he's a gang member.
There's no
we
proof of
cannot
that.
prove that.
There's no proof
so
of that.
you are innocent until proven guilty.
The proof they're working on is he has a marijuana leaf tattoo on his finger, and I guess that's like a...
Well, you have a marijuana leaf tattooed on your ass.
Exactly.
And nobody's deporting you.
Right in my asshole. I got to spread cheeks and open it up. And you gotta,
I've seen it.
You got to really get your nose in there to really see it. Yeah. You got to really try.
And sniff.
You got to really try. You got to really want it to see it. But there's that and the Chicago Bulls hat, which I say we all buy Chicago Bulls hats, start wearing
If
them.
you were a child of the 90s And Michael
probably
Jordan played in the Bulls in the 90s.
Yeah.
Everyone had Bulls gear. Like, I had some J's on my feet. J's on my feet. I had some 23s. Does that make me an MS-13 gang member?
I'm going to give props to that Maryland senator who went to El Salvador and said, I'm not leaving until I see my constituent. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going down there to see him, to talk to him. And of course, it ended up being this fucking propagandized video and pictures we all seen where they cleaned him up. They put him in his old clothes that, you know, he came down there and he was at a hotel. They had margaritas on the table and the senator was talking to him and all this other shit. Very propagandized fucking footage. But at the very least, we've confirmed that he is alive. That is a confirmed thing.
At least he's alive. That was from me.
Okay. I got it. Yeah.
All right.
So at least we know he's alive. And I'm happy about that.
Watch this space, because this is the third podcast in a row that we've been reporting about this story. I think this is a huge deal.
It is.
I think this is a big story, and more people should be talking about it. Like, this guy should not be going through hell on earth right now, and he is.
Look, maybe he has a connection to MS-13. We don't know. And we won't know until he has his day in court.
Right.
We will not know until that point. Innocent until proven guilty. Did you see the Doge whistleblower?
No.
So there's this whistleblower that came out and, like, you know how Doge was going through it to get their sticky fingers all in the mess of, like, the government. And,
Fingers.
yeah. Apparently, this whistleblower came out and basically said, and I got to look more into it, but he essentially said, we have confirmed reports, like there's evidence of this, where after Doge got into these systems, they left a back door open in the systems, and a confirmed IP address from Russia accessed these systems. Now, apparently this whistleblower was going to come forward, and people found out he was going to come forward. So somebody, from his words, taped a note on his front door of his house that showed a picture of him walking his dog from an aerial view from a drone, and basically told him to keep his mouth shut. Whoa. So he did the smart thing, and he got a lawyer, and he went public with it. Because that's the smart thing to do, because basically he's putting himself in the limelight. He was on MSNBC talking about it. So now we know if he dies, they did some shifty shit.
He dies.
They did some shifty shit. I'm going to end the politics talk now. So.
Please. You know what? You sir need a hobby.
I'm going to end it with one funny thing.
Okay.
One last political thing, but it's going to be funny because this is the stupidity of this administration, and I'm going to prove the stupidity of this administration. Not that I need to, but because I want to. It's my desire. This is our secretary. It's a video and audio. Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon. That's right, McMahon of the fucking WWE, WWF royalty, whatever fucking bullshit. Linda McMahon talking about. I want you to tell me what she's talking about.
I think it was a letter or a report that I heard this morning. I wish I could remember the source, but that there's a school system that's going to start making sure that first graders or even pre-Ks have A1 teaching, every year starting, that far down in the grades. And that's just that's a wonderful thing. Kids are sponges.
Like the steak
They just absorb everything. And so it wasn't all that long ago that we're going to have internet in our schools. Whoop. Now, okay, let's see A1 and how can that be helpful?
All right.
The A1. She got the A1.
You listen here, McMahon.
Listen here.
Tonight on WrestleMania, I'm coming for you and your A1 steak sauce. WrestleMania is tonight, by the way.
This stupid bitch. This dumb bitch. First of all, talking about it wasn't that long ago. We were talking about internet in schools, and oh my God, now we're talking about this.
Did she mean AI?
First of all,
did she mean AI?
I was in elementary school, and internet was in schools. You dumb bitch. Second of all, yes, Scott, she meant AI, but she read it and assumed it meant A1. This is our Secretary of Education, Scott.
I thought, didn't they do away with the Department of Education?
How
is we have a secretary of something that doesn't exist?
I think it's in the process of being dismantled. I don't think it's fully done away with yet. But this is our fucking fucking Secretary of Education who said, A1, Izzy, I know it's fucking horrible. I'm temple blown out, vein on the side of my neck. Who let this bitch do this shit? This motherfucker.
Who let the dogs out?
Who? You know what that song was about, right?
Ugly girls at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that song was originally about.
No more A1 steak sauce, brother.
Kindergartners are going to be dealing with A1 now. It's so fascinating. They're going to be dealing with A1. I hate this world, and where's the Professor Farnsworth meme? I don't want to live on this world anymore. There's a reason why aliens won't come to visit us. They see shit like that and like, oh, these people are not ready at all. And I agree with them. We're not fucking ready.
Oh, Adam.
This is boom, 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 just fucking temple going. You have no idea how high I'm gonna get tomorrow. I'm gonna get fucking blown away. I'm gonna get blitzed out of my mind. I'm gonna take
in honor of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right?
I think he wants it for me.
He does.
I think he wants it for me at this point. There's a reason why Jesus hasn't come back yet. He's waiting for us to filter these fuckers out first. Move on.
Again, I respect that you're doing these big deep dives into politics and getting all worked up, and I think you can ignore some of it. Maybe not all of it, maybe not the most asinine things, but you need to pace yourself. You need to get involved in other things.
But did anything I talk about tonight, was that not big shit?
Well,
I would argue that's all kind of big shit, except for the last thing. That was more of a funny joke kind of thing, and that's why I included it in there. But everything else, I would argue...
Coming for you, McMahon!
I would argue everything else was kind of big.
Yeah.
That's what I would argue. Not a day goes by. I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm waiting for Monday. I'm waiting for Tuesday to see what the fuck is going to go on now. I would argue a Doge whistleblower and the immigration thing is all big. So
I'm into sports, and I want to get you into sports so bad. Wrestling's a good segue into sports, but not really.
Yeah.
Not really. So I'm a big, it's baseball season, Adam.
that's what I hear.
Baseball. And I'm a big Pittsburgh Pirate fan. They suck. They've been bad for a long time. But I think their ownership, Bob Nutting, that's right, Nutting, that's the name.
There's a joke in there. There's a joke in there.
He is the owner of the Pirates, and he is a giant flaming turd. And he's done some stuff. First of all, he spends no money on the team. He does not bolster the roster. We have a lot of bad players, and it's just it's going nowhere and going nowhere fast. But he's done some things I want to mention to you. I want to get a fresh set of eyes on this and tell me if I'm overreacting.
I'm here. Fresh set.
Do you know who Roberto Clemente is?
I've heard of him.
He is one of the greatest of all-time baseball players. He played for the Pirates in the 60s and 70s. Unfortunately, he passed away in a plane accident in his prime. But he was one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Loved him. He has his jersey retired at PNC Park, where the Pirates play. They have what's called the Clemente Wall, and they have like it says Clemente number 21 on the wall. The start of this season, for opening day, we came out there. There was an advertisement for vodka on the wall in place of where his retired name and number was.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I forget. I'm not even going to give the brand of vodka a shout out on the show.
It's fucking Russia.
But we were like, wait, what's going on? Like, people lost their mind and they fixed it. Okay. Whatever. I was going to let that go. They a couple days later, they changed it back. There was also something. There's a walkway in front of the ballpark. In 2001, when the ballpark was built, they sold these bricks, and you can get your name, your family's name, and something written on the brick for $250. And the brick went in that walkway, and it was there forever. And people love that. People go and they take pictures with their brick on opening day, and a lot of people put, they went there with their dad, and their father's now passed away.
Yeah.
Opening day, people show up.
It's like a tradition.
The bricks were gone.
The bricks were gone.
They were removed.
The bricks were gone.
And people lost their minds. And the Pirates released a statement. We needed to do repairs on the sidewalk. We have the bricks in storage.
A likely story.
We have the bricks in storage, is what they said. We are looking for different ways to display the bricks in the future. Okay? If that would have been the case, okay.
I have an idea. Stack them.
What do you mean stack them?
Stack them up on top of each other. Stack the bricks on top of each other.
But then you can't read them. Each brick has a engraving. If you stack them on top of each other, the ones on the bottom you can't read.
Can't you flip them?
I guess.
The engravings? Yeah. Flip them, stack them. Flip them, stack them.
A couple days later, though, an employee who's a Pirates fan works at a dump, works at a waste management.
Uh-oh.
He sent a picture in. All of the bricks were broken and sent to the dump.
Uh-oh.
They got caught in a big lie.
You were asking how the riot's going to start? This is how the riot's going to start.
Might be it.
This is what it's happening. Fuck the deportation and killing of people in these death camps. This is the fucking...
They came back. The Pirates came back and said...
Auschwitz, here. Pirates bricks, here.
They came back and said the bricks that were sent to the dump were ones that were broken or irreparable. The ones that were still in good shape, they did place into storage. Everybody's like, that's bullshit. The pile of bricks at the dump was massive. It had to have been every brick.
Yeah.
Like, they don't believe that they have any in storage. They said the ones that were broken or were sent to the dump were cataloged, and we are looking for other ways to display those.
They need to open that storage and let people in to see. That's what they need to do. I'm calling for that right now.
They have lied to their fans. They have disrespected us. They've given us a bad team year after year, and they don't care. They're not trying to hide it anymore. I know you're not a sports
Where's the
guy,
guillotine?
right? I think Bob Nutting should be right there with Linda McMahon and Donald Trump.
I think he doesn't deserve to nut anymore. We need to chop his balls off.
Right. That's right. So
That's how he got his name from nutting. We gotta fix that. We gotta amend that.
Like we're legitimately mad, and we should be, right? Like
I'm partially mad. If I'm being honest, it's only a partial madness.
I didn't have a brick. I didn't pay $250 back in 2001 when I was in high school.
It's been 20 plus years. I mean,
But-
I'll be honest. Like I understand the anger. I do, and I'm not saying people shouldn't be angry. There are probably more important things going on in this world that people should be more fucking angry about. But they shouldn't have done this. It is an injustice, is what it is. Like traditions kind of matter for a reason, and this was kind of a tradition that they should have kept. And it seems like somebody was just kind of like, this looks bad. Let's fix this because I think it looks bad.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out. I'd like to talk to Dr. Lackey about this because he's our resident Pittsburgh Pirate expert along with our resident scientist. I'd like to get his take on it.
Get him on the show, man. We'll video chat.
The one guy that was interviewed that I read online about him, I felt really... He was older than us, but he showed a picture of him and his father in 2001. And they're at their brick, and they're smiling. And every year, it showed him and his dad until his dad wasn't there anymore. His dad had died.
Yeah.
And he still goes and takes his picture with the brick. And he went this year to do it, and the brick was gone. And he's legitimately like that is something that I thought I would have forever. Me and my dad. And it got me in the feels.
If it's a traditional thing, I have no problem with them renovating. If they're going to remove the bricks, they do need to re-put the bricks somewhere at the very least, so that like enshrined somewhere at the very least, so that the tradition can still stay. Like you could renovate, you could change things up all you want. That's fine, but if you're going to do that, you need when you have something. It's basically a cultural significance. And when you have something that is that culturally significant, you got to hang on to it and at least put it somewhere. You know, you can't just remove it and just throw it in the fucking dump.
Disney did something like this back in like 1982 at Epcot Center. They sold bricks, and when they did a remodeling, they removed the bricks. And guess what they did? They wanted to know if the people who had their name on them wanted to purchase their bricks. And they offered them to the people.
They should just given them. They should just give it.
They should have.
Disney has all the fucking money where, and the people bought them.
They had to send
the
it.
People.
I think it was just to cover the cost.
Are they whipping over the cost of shipping?
Yeah, it's a brick. I think they were like, if you want your brick, we will mail it to you across the country or wherever you're from, but you have to pay for the postage. I mean, it's business, man.
It's business, but like Disney has all the money.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with how Disney did it.
I'm okay with Disney doing that, but with all the money that Disney has, I understand the time period. They had less money, but they still had all the fucking money in the world.
Oh no, this was done. They were put in '82. They were taken out like in 2010.
Okay, they should have ate the cost then, because you know what that would have done? That's you can't buy Good Samaritan work, really. Like, it's hard to buy that. And if Disney just did that, like, you know what? If you want it, we'll send it to you and we'll eat the shipping costs, because they could have fucking afford to.
And that's
your stock price going up.
You have too big of a heart, and this is why you will never be a billionaire CEO.
No, what that is the stock price rises for that, because people are gonna be like, you know what, Disney's a fantastic, lovable company that cares about their fans.
The stockholders care about that? They care about making money, and that's it.
No, but more people want to buy into Disney stock because of, like, I'm going to support this company. I'm going to buy their stock because they cared enough to do this.
I disagree. Maybe a few, but not much to swing the needle. Anyway, sports. Adam.
Sports game.
I think it's time. We're at the Final Four.
Final Four.
Of the Adams Movie March Madness Tournament.
Let's do it.
Were you making kissy faces?
No, I was blowing out like... Oh, yeah.
Oh, that needs to be the thumbnail picture of you. There it is. You got to find that. Okay. We're at the Final Four. Last 4 films that Adam picks. We're going to have a winner. This is going to be great. You're getting a phone call.
No, I was putting a reminder in my phone, okay? You know, I'm just doing a thing. I'm producing and starring at the same time. I'm juggling a lot of balls here, so... That was your segue for a joke, sir, but you missed it.
I've made that joke too often.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, let's get into it. It's going to be real quick. We only got 2 matchups tonight. They're setting up our championship game, which won't be next week, and we'll get into that why later. It'll be the week after.
Yeah, Scott's being a cunt about that, so it's fine.
I'm not being a cunt.
A little bit.
I'm going to go give the White House the middle finger.
I want a selfie of that.
He's not going to be there.
I don't care. I want a selfie of it. I want a selfie so bad.
Me just flipping the bird to the White House?
Yes.
I'm going to Washington, D.C., folks.
I want a selfie. Doesn't have to be a selfie, but I want a picture of you
What if the martial law gets declared and I'm there? Like, that's where it's going to happen.
I want you flipping the bird is what I want. I want you flipping the bird.
And then I want
to death. And then I want another picture. Your wife has to take a picture of you being arrested. And then, you know what? Because we'll know. And we can fight against this. Before distraction, and we'll fight against it.
Before distraction Adam gets a phone call. Would you like to select this collect call from El Salvador? Adam, they locked me in the gulag. They shaved my head. They made me lay on the ground. I don't even speak Spanish. Come get me. Oh, okay.
I would fight tooth and nail. I sell all my stocks and put all my money in financial.
I'm going to hold you to that.
You think I would?
You used to be allowed to give the middle finger to the White House. I don't know anymore. If martial law is intact, I might be in El Salvador. So
we'll see. We'll see.
Adam, it's time for the matchups.
Let's go. Let's go.
We have the champion of our sci-fi region, the number 3 seed, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. They're going to take on the champion of the action region, the number 3 seed, Saving Private Ryan.
So this is a very if you think about it, if you really stop and think about it, this is a very similar story.
Oh yeah.
You have a fighting force fighting against oppression and dictatorship and authoritarianism. Very similar story going on right here between this. So you got the America and other countries fighting Nazi Germany, and you've got the rebellion fighting against the authoritarianism of the empire. Very similar stories. You know me, Saving Private Ryan is my favorite war movie, and I love The Empire Strikes Back. That is my favorite Star Wars movie. me being who I am, sci-fi wins out. It's got to be Empire. It's got to be Empire. Sci-fi wins. I love space lasers. It's got to win. Nothing against that. I'll tell you this. Saving Private Ryan is a more emotionally written movie, but Star Wars is just fun. Even Empire is still emotional.
It ends on a downer.
It ends on a downer. That's the old Clerks joke. It ends on a downer, but it's still fun. It's still a fun movie to watch. So that's my pick, Empire.
All right. So Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, moves on to the championship. Now let's see who they face.
I'm ready.
We have the champion of our comedy region, the number 3 seed Ghostbusters. They take on the champion of our horror region, the number 2 seed Jurassic Park.
Both fantastic movies. Both movies of my childhood.
Very similar the posters, as I see.
They are. They're just like black backgrounds with the logo is all it is. So this one is a little tough for me. It's not very like clear cut for me. Because they're both science fiction style movies. One's more serious, one's more jokey. But I know which one I'm gonna pick because it was a more staple of my childhood than the other one.
Okay.
I love Ghostbusters. I love Jurassic Park. You know, how often do we quote Jurassic Park? Both these movies are very quotable.
We quote them both a lot. Yeah.
Dawson. See, nobody cares. We both.
Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yeah, they're both very quotable movies. I love both of them, but I'm going to pick Jurassic Park.
JP moves on.
They're both staples of my childhood, but Jurassic Park is a much larger staple of my childhood. I have more fond memories of that than I do of Ghostbusters, so that is the one that I gravitated towards.
Okay. So that sets up in 2 weeks. The championship matchup is set.
And you know what? It's kind of great that we're not recording next week because this is like a more like, you know, we're waiting for the championship, the final round. The final countdown.
Okay. So we've got Jurassic Park taking on Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back in Adam's Movie Mayhem Tournament, concluding in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
This has been Chef's Kiss.
For those of you wondering, by the way, we're going to get into Course Cinema next, but for those of you wondering, by the way, what are we going to do next week? How are we going to listen to it? How are we going to love you? I got something special planned for next week. There is going to be an episode going up.
Oh, boy.
Next week. I'm going to post it up. It's going to be a fun episode. I'll spoil it. It's a Patreon episode.
Oh, was it our last Patreon we did?
That was a fun one. So
it was a really good.
It was really
Patreon.
fun. It was really funny. So I'm gonna post the Patreon episode that we did last week as like a teaser for other things that you might want to listen to if you want to go to patreon.com/4distractions. Subscribe to us there. Listen to that kind of stuff.
Pulling the curtain back a little bit, Adam. Midway through our Patreon, because our Patreons are typically audio only, like the old style, how we did it. Halfway through, we realized this is gold. This is some good content. So halfway through, we switched to the video.
To pull the curtain even further back,
Yeah.
the software that I used to record the video portion, I still use the same software to record the audio version, and I convert them. So I basically just like removed the logo and turned on the webcam, and then it became like
you were able to do that. You were able to.
Yeah, I could do that anytime I want. I could do it right now if you want to. Like, I can do this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go?
But it's still recording us?
Yep, we're still recording.
Even though we don't see ourselves.
There we are.
So you're telling me we have the whole thing?
It's not. No, we don't have the video for the whole thing.
That's what I meant. That's what I was saying.
Well, no, like the video for the whole thing looks like this. That's the
until
video
the
for
very
whole
end.
Thing. And then I do this, and this is what I do to the very end. Boop, 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 and then we do
right,
that.
but you can't go back and grandfather the original footage in. It wasn't
because
recorded.
the webcam shut off.
That's what I'm saying. I know. So the people watch next week, they're going to be like, oh, I'm only hearing the audio. I'm not seeing the video. You will see the video halfway through.
Yeah, pay attention to the video.
Yes.
It'll show up. But it was a great episode. And so that's going to be the episode that I'm going to show. And it's a little bit of a teaser. Hey, guess what? If you want to see bonus content, subscribe to our Patreon, $1 a month. All proceeds from the Patreon go to improving the podcast. It's not going to my porn habit or anything or any other habits that we have. It's going to improving the podcast. The porn habits.
How can people subscribe to it?
I said patreon.com/4distraction.
So they go to www.patreon. Patreon. How do you spell that?
Patreon. patreon.com//4distraction.
Ooh, okay. So there, we spelled it out for
If you just gotta fucking like search Patreon, go on there, search for Distraction, we should show up.
Patreon
should be a big thing.
Yeah, Patreon's popular.
But like, yeah. $1 a month. That's all it costs to give me money, please. Course Cinema.
Coercive.
We watched something. It was my pick this week.
You did something to me.
I wanted you, and the reason why. So like, I had watched this movie like 2 or 3 weeks before we did Course Cinema last week. I had watched this movie, and this movie, it's a horror movie. I watched it, and the reason why I made you watch it was because I needed somebody to talk about this movie with because it was weird. It was weird. It's Long Legs is what it was. Long Legs is the movie that we watched. I thoroughly enjoyed it because I love a weird horror thriller. It was mostly a thriller, but it was definitely a horror movie that had a lot of twists and turns. What did you think about it, though? That's where I'm getting from. Like, I gotta hear somebody else's thoughts because my brain was racking this movie, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I had never seen this movie until now. I had heard about it, and I did know about it, and I wanted to see it. I had heard good things, so I wanted to see it. I was excited that you made me watch it, and then something happened. The movie's happening. The movie starts, and I think I mentioned to you 2 or 3 separate times. I'm like, this is very cool. This is like an X-Files episode.
It is. We're basically about an FBI agent.
She's an FBI agent,
and she's
investigating a murder.
She's like pseudo psychic almost.
Yeah,
there's like a psychic element.
But you didn't like that element, did you?
I didn't hate it, but like, so basically the story, it takes place in the 90s. First of all,
right?
It takes place in the 90s,
which is also when X-Files takes place.
Yes, and so it's like basically. The opening starts with her partnering up with this other guy, and they're looking for this killer, and she has like a pseudo premonition almost of like, okay, the killer's in that house. And after they catch the killer, she goes through this like testing process, and they find out she's like 50-56. She's kind of psychic. So then it comes to this, like, they're trying to track down this killer codenamed Long Legs because that's why he signs his thing. And they're using her to try to figure out what's going on with it. And so it becomes, like you said, this X-Files almost. It's basically a long X-Files episode that's really fucking violent is what it is.
Until about midway through the movie.
Yeah.
And before it happens, and I'm digging the movie. I am into it. X-Files is arguably my second favorite TV show of all time.
This movie makes you want to see what's going on next. Everything that happens in this movie, you're like, I want to see what's going on next.
The X-Files is my second favorite television show of all time. I'd say Star Trek: The Next Generation is number 1. And I was loving this because I was getting such X-File vibes until midway through. And you, right before this happens, you looked at me and you said, and this is where it goes off the rails.
Yeah.
And halfway through the movie, it gets so freaking weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't weird. It was eerie. It was suspenseful.
Yeah.
It was strange until midway through, and it's like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? I still have questions. I still don't understand everything.
I was looking for answers. That's why I was like, I need a second opinion on this fucking movie.
It went from X-Files to Lost.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what happened there? What's going on here?
It went from being like a movie about like a potentially psychic FBI agent that can like have premonitions and like can sense things to
never talking about that again.
To I guess like dolls have like this weird power and like somehow
we all agree dolls are creepy.
Yeah.
Dolls are creepy, and having dolls in horror movies is a trope in itself.
And it doesn't explain anything. Explains
they added
nothing.
Dolls as a plot mover, as a MacGuffin in this.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? Like that wasn't a thing that was talked about at all when they were doing their investigation.
Like the idea is Longlegs, played by Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage does a great job.
He does a fantastic job.
Not in it very much.
No, but when he is in it, it's fucking Nick Cage at his Nick Cageiest. But like Nicolas Cage plays as like doll maker essentially, and like at one point, so like we find out the mother is involved in this somehow. And she shoots like this doll that's meant to be like a replica of her daughter, and somehow this black smoke comes out, and like it knocks her out, and she wakes up, and it's never explained what the fucking thing is going on. But this whole thing is about like the devil, essentially. Like Nick Cage worships the devil, and it's this whole weird thing. It's
mom who they introduced early on. Apparently
has some mental health issues.
Which no question about it. The main character, the FBI agent who we're learning about, had some childhood trauma. She was the victim of violence, and she has to go seek her mother out to ask her some questions about it. It somehow could be related to this. And then at the end of the movie, all of a sudden, the mom is all of a sudden a main character and involved in the crime. Spoilers.
Well, they should have seen it beforehand, but like the mother. So what happened was when the main character, the FBI agent, is a child, Longlegs comes to them and is going to kill the mother and the daughter, and the mother makes an agreement with him that I'll help you with your crimes if you spare us. So the entire turns out you see scenes occasionally where Nick Cage is like making dolls in this like weird basement. Turns out the entire time he was making dolls in the basement of his mother's house, and she's been like portraying, like dressing up as like a nun and going to random houses to say, oh, you want a raffle, here's a doll, here's from the church, and they give him the doll, and then she drops the doll off and leaves, and somehow the doll forces typically the father, the patriarch of the family, of the household, to murder the entire family and then commit suicide. That's the whole kind of like key to the whole thing. It's like this whole thing started because like the FBI was investigating why do these fathers keep murdering their families and then killing themselves? What's going on? That's the whole like trope of it. Find out that's what's going on. It's the assumption, I guess, is made that the devil is possessing the doll, because occasionally they cut to like little side shots where like there's a doll and they always have a veil over them, but there's red eyes behind it. So I guess the trope is the devil is possessing the dolls, which is forcing the fathers to do this. It even happens at the end with the FBI agent's partner. The mother goes to that person's house after the daughter finds out what's going on, gives the family a doll, and they're in like this weird trance where nothing the FBI agent is saying is getting through to the dad or the family or anything like that. But there's this weird twist that I kind of thought was going to happen, but it didn't show it in the movie, that people believe. At the end scene, the FBI agent like turns the gun on her mother and kills the partner because he hacks up his wife, and she's trying to save the daughter. And at one point, she points the gun at the doll and blows its head off, but it like cuts to the credits. A lot of people think, and this is kind of like what I was leading towards, was whatever happened, like she actually killed the family, essentially. Like that's kind of like the idea that some people are saying. And I thought that was going to be a cutaway where once she like stopped firing the gun, like it was going to cut away to like a different scene where she killed the entire family, and it was like going to be like a weird twist like that. It speculated, but it doesn't show it because it cuts to credits afterwards.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. It's a great mystery movie. It's a great thriller, but it's weird as fuck. If you don't like weird movies, skip it. But if you love, like, I want to make a movie make me think and like get me interested, watch it. It's not bad.
But it also doesn't answer every question for you.
Oh, it answers almost no questions.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch it and end watching it thinking like, what the fuck happened?
Longlegs 2? ?
They probably won't. And you know what? I don't want them to. Leave it at a mystery, honestly. Some things are best left unsaid. Leave it go. Because we're going to be talking about it for years. So, all right. It's next course of cinema time, Scotty.
I'm going to have you watch a film. And this is one that I had put on a list a long time ago that you said you hadn't seen. So I hope you haven't seen it since then. I don't think you have. I would have given it to you sooner, but it wasn't on streaming anything. But I just recently found it on the Pluto TV.
You've been like exploring some of like those free.
So
like,
the
weird
last
apps.
couple weeks, I've had some luck with the Tubi.
Yeah.
Tonight, I have luck with Pluto TV. The movie Gattaca from 1997.
Gattaca. But I'm not making an account for this. You better have an account or something like this.
What do you mean?
You have to make an account for it?
No, it's free.
No? Okay, cool.
Pluto
cool.
TV, just like the Tubi, is free. So anybody
But a lot of
watching
these free
this,
apps, you have to make an account
if you have
for,
not
so.
already seen Gattaca, or if you've seen it a long time ago because it's an older film, you can rewatch it for free on the Pluto TV, and then not next week, but the week after, we're going to talk about it, so you'll know we're talking. So no spoilers. It's got Ethan Hawke and Jude Law. Like I said, 97, I think.
Cast.
I enjoy this film. It's sci-fi, and I know you love sci-fi.
Love me a little sci-fi. Hey, Scott.
Yes.
So since you're abandoning us next week, why don't you tell the people how they can get a hold of
All
For
right.
Distraction? That's your punishment. That's your
If
penance.
you guys want to get a hold of us at For Your Distraction, you can shoot us an email at foryourdistraction@gmail.com. We are on social media. You can search for us on Facebook. Search for Your Distraction on there. Like our Facebook page. We post the links to Facebook of all of our live broadcasts, so you can find it on there when you want to watch us live or listen to our older stuff. We post those too. Still haven't gotten to the bottom of what's going on with X or Twitter. I don't know if I'm banned or suspended. I said this last week. I did call Elon Musk a cunt on a comment section on X, and now I cannot log into it. So I might have to have you take a look at it, Mr. Tech person.
You're gonna have to call the customer support to see if you can.
I don't think I care that much.
I don't
to call
care that much
customer
either.
support.
I don't care that much either. I've been telling you for years, or for a while now, not years, but for a while now. We got to get off X, and you did it for me. You did.
At least I went out in a good way.
Yeah. At least we just didn't delete the account. You said Elon Musk, you fucking cunt.
I mean, remember when he said he was buying Twitter to promote free speech?
Yeah, we can all say what we. He's bringing back comedy, man. We can all say whatever we want.
Because a lot of people like him and Trump were banned from it.
Yeah.
For posting false information.
Yeah.
And now he's banning people like me.
Yeah.
For calling him a cunt.
Yeah. How many followers did we have on X?
We had a fair amount.
We had like what, 1-2 million, something like that.
Most of them were porn bots. So,
dude,
what? It is what it is. We're not. If you can still find For Distraction on X, we might be there. We might not.
You tell us. You email us and you tell us whether or not you can find the account.
Email us fordistraction@gmail.com.
Send us a DM on Facebook. Or DM us on our TikToks.
We go live. We post our live videos on our YouTube. Head to YouTube, search for Distraction. Adam also posts the links to all of them at the end of the shows. We post the links to our YouTube on all of our social medias too. It's sometimes harder to find. I don't really love YouTube's search algorithm.
No, it's not great.
It's not great.
You got to be really popular.
So like on Facebook, if you search for Distraction, we pop up.
Yeah.
On YouTube, if you search for Distraction, we're there, but you might have to scroll a bit.
So it's easier if you just go to the link that's in the description. I put all the links in the description of all the shows. Right. If you tap on that, click on that, it'll take you right to the
It's also
YouTube.
beneficial to subscribe to our Facebook, our YouTube channel.
Well, both, yes.
Yes, both, right. You can listen to our show the old-fashioned way by audio only.
The old-timey way.
Which I like to do when I'm driving for work and I'm in the car, because I'm not like Mike D and I can't watch while I drive. So I'll put on a podcast.
He's an alpha male, man. He can watch while he drives. He's alpha male.
He's a lot of things. But you can find us on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Podbean, pretty much anywhere you listen to your podcasts, you can find us there. If there's some random place that you get your information, let Adam know. and he'll make it happen. He's that
By
kind
the way,
of a guy.
you're not going to find us on SoundCloud any new episodes because that requires a subscription.
But you can find our old stuff on SoundCloud.
Like the last like there's like 2 or 3 episodes on there.
And those are some of the best ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are a member of the Electronic Media Collective. Head on over to the electronicmediacollective.com. Wow, that's a mouthful. You'll find our show listed on there and a bunch of other great shows. Those are our sister shows. Take a listen to them. And we forgot to do this last week. We need to get together and we need to pick one of our sister shows.
That's right.
On there, and that's going to be the show I listened to this week.
Okay.
A new one that we haven't listened to before.
Okay.
So I need your help picking that.
We'll pick one after the show. I do want to announce one other thing. This has nothing to do with us. There's no connection to us whatsoever, but I think it's an important thing. There's this thing going around, and ow, goddamn dog.
Whoa, what happened? She bit you.
Yeah, she's fucking playing with me. She bit my fucking finger. Yeah.
Oh, no.
That hurt. Goddamn.
Call the dog warden.
Get off. So there's this thing going around, and this I peruse the TikToks as I tend to do.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of big name like political content creators and stuff like that on there, and I heard there's a thing going around called the Unfuck America Tour that's going on, where it's a number of large political TikTokers that have a large following that are going to you know Charlie Kirk, right? You've heard of him?
I do know the Turning Point USA guy.
Yeah. So
is he the guy that goes to college campuses and like prove me wrong?
Yeah. So there's this movement going on called the Unfuck America Tour, where they have recognized things that Democrats didn't, where they recognize that what they need to do is they need to push out to the younger crowd. There's a lot of young, typically white men, but younger 20s that came out for Trump, and their goal is to go out there and disprove Charlie Kirk and his followers and stuff like that, to try to reach out to these younger people at these big like events and stuff like that. And there's a lot of big creators that are going out and doing that. And I think it's a very important thing to reach out to these younger men and let them know, like, hey, like, here's the real story. Here's what's going on. It's called, like I said, it's called the Unfuck America Tour. Look at it, Google it. It's right
How do
there.
we get on it?
We don't. We're not big enough. Let's be honest. We're not big enough. But I think it's an important movement. I do. I honestly think it's an important movement to do. It's basically like a reach out thing. There's been a lot of reaching out going on. Like
reaching around?
Well, we love that. Yeah, that's great too. But there's a reach out also. Reach around, reach out, all that stuff.
Okay.
Like Bernie Sanders was with AOC recently.
Outreach.
Yeah, outreach.
Outreach. Okay.
Outreach.
Okay.
Like recently, like, dude, how fucking awesome is AOC? Like, she's great, and her and Bernie Sanders have been going around.
She's going to be a presidential favorite coming
very
up
much
there.
so.
Yeah.
Like, she's got a lot.
And boy, oh boy, does she piss off the right.
Yeah.
They hate her.
They can't.
They feel about her the way we feel about like Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Like she was just going out there telling, like, not even like specifically telling people, but just like putting out social media posts. Like, here's basically to illegal immigrants, here's your rights. Just telling people what their rights are, and the right wanted to charge her for that and send her to jail or deport her or some bullshit like that. Like, they're doing the good work. Bernie Sanders, Jasmine Crockett,
like her too.
What's the filibuster dude recently? What's his name?
Oh, Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. They're doing the Lord's work is what they're doing. They're doing the God's work out there. You know, I'm all for it.
I met Cory Booker.
Did you really?
He came to Mercer County several years ago, campaigning.
Was he cool as fuck, or was he
campaigning for Hillary Clinton? I think maybe Barack Obama. I forget who he was campaigning for, but he came here on a tour.
Was he cool as fuck?
Yeah. I mean, he was really popular.
He seems like a chill dude. He seems like a cool dude. Yep. So, look it up. Google Unfuck America Tour. That's what we got to do. We got to look. I'm all for fucking stuff. We got to unfuck it a little bit.
You know what? Let's start our version of that. Let's start it right here with For Your Distraction. Let's get our own network out there.
We got 2 weeks to plan.
2 weeks because
2 weeks to plan.
I will not be here next week. I'm going to our wonderful nation's capital,
and I'm
going to Washington D.C. I'm going to the swamp, Adam.
He's going.
I'm going to wrestle some alligators.
That's called Mitch McConnell.